There are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal title.
Here is the scenario. Meghan Markle has made news once more. But this time it's not because of a podcast or red carpet appearance, it's much messier. The type of royal repercussions that has King Charles allegedly sharpening the figurative axe is what we're discussing. Furthermore, that isn't an exaggeration from a tabloid. The man is seriously thinking of removing Meghan's HR titles, and to be honest, it may be the only option left. Everything became heated when Meghan dabbled in yet another business endeavor, this time that the hospitality sector seems innocuous, doesn't it? Here's the twist, though. The corporate presents were purportedly branded with the Duchess of Sussex's HR's approval, yes, HRH, when she and Harry left their royal duties. Queen Elizabeth specifically requested that they not use the title. King Charles is now witnessing that promise evaporating more quickly than hot water and inexpensive jam. The king's former butler, Grant Harold, who has known Charles more than most people would ever know, didn't hold back when he spoke about Meghan's brief venture into hospitality was going to fail. And not only because she lacks business sense, but also because, in his words, she's as welcoming as a zoo reptile cage. Perhaps harsh, but he's not entirely incorrect. The worst thing isn't even that. People in the palace are furious because they believe Meghan is using her royal status, which she agreed to give up, to justify her business endeavors and earn money. The problem is that Queen Elizabeth gave Harry and Meghan that compromise, which was based on trust and a royal handshake, so keep the HR title but don't use it in public. You see, it's not only a matter of manners, but here we are with monogrammed jam jars and gift tags with royal seals as if it were just another Tuesday in Monarchy. Charles is no longer blind to the fact that it is a slap in the face to the institution. He avoided conflict and played the nice guy for years. But his persistent breaking of the rules is beginning to come off as weakness. Despite her composure and grace, his mother made a mistake by letting them keep the title. And now that decision has turned into a public relations disaster. Nightmare that is destroying the legitimacy of the crown. Meghan's fixation with the titles is even stranger. She is out there promoting herself through letters, stationery, and even public shoutouts that are laced with HR. She seems to think that her identity is derived from the monogram. How much she talks about being a strong, independent woman doesn't matter. Every action shouts the opposite. This person is clinging tenaciously to an institution rather than standing tall on their own. She used to say that she hated. Then there's the poor Harry. People claim that he is unhappy with everything, and that he finds Meghan's use of those titles awkward, particularly after she publicly made fun of the Queen in that Netflix series. However, if that didn't set a boundary, what would happen? He has become a supporting character in his own life, watching everything play out like a royal spectator, helpless, silent, and perhaps even a little embarrassed. But this is where it gets even dirtier. Meghan went beyond jam labels. She shared a letter that was sent by on Instagram. A Ukrainian official called her HRH. Private correspondence is not what that is. It's a flex in public. A well-considered action. Charles also saw that everyone did. The silent agreement has become a joke, and the monarch may finally be finished being kind. Charles is more than simply irritated. He is enraged. Now, it's not just about one or two jam jars. It's about the gradual, purposeful eroding of royal borders, all decked out in pastel packaging and well-curated Instagram photos. Meghan's use of the title isn't the only issue. She is fully aware of what she is doing. Every time HRH, the Duchess of Sussex, signs a card, it's a slap in the face of the agreement that lets her leave her royal responsibilities while retaining a portion of the business. For years, the palace has remained silent in the hopes that the people would pressure them or that common sense would take care of the situation. However, Meghan is now pressing harder. And Grant Harold's warnings weren't issued in a vacuum. Charles is someone he knows. He is aware of the amount of self-control required of the monarch to hold back. And now with the image of monarchy appearing more brittle every day, something must give. Removing the HR title from her wouldn't be an unusual punishment. Princess Diana also handed up hers, and Charles's own brother Prince Andrew had his stripped away in shame. Sarah Ferguson had previously lost it during her divorce from Prince Andrew. Thus, in theory, it's not difficult. Meghan's HR may disappear. With a simple letter of patent from the king, a royal signature suffices. No lengthy procedure or parliament is required. Completed, but the symbolic is just as significant as the legal procedure. Meghan's whole brand is based on insinuation. She only needs to imply that she is a working royal. There is a monogram and a title on some packaging. It's understated yet effective. And if the king removes it, she's just Meghan once again. Just Meghan, not Meghan the Duchess or Meghan the Royal, and without the title, the illusion is destroyed. Meghan will now claim that, legally, she is not breaching any laws and she may be correct on paper. The monarch had stated that they might keep the titles as long as they weren't used for official or business purposes. Although everyone with a brain can understand what's going on, Meghan's team will argue that a personal letter or a reposted Instagram story doesn't qualify as commercial. She is elevating her new endeavors by employing royal branding as a marketing tool and prop. The public isn't foolish either. Whether it's future hotel chains or jam lifestyle material, people are realizing that jam stunt drew a lot of criticism, not just from tabloids. The average person is exhausted. Regarding the royal soap opera, they are fed up with a couple who broke away from the monarchy, continuing to profit from it, and Charles must answer for that as, while he remains mute, he comes seen as weak and afraid to speak out against what everyone else can plainly see. Then there is the Ukrainian vice president's Instagram blunder and repost. That was a calculated move, not a subtle one. Meghan shared a public letter referring to herself as Your Royal Highness, and she understood exactly what she was doing. That was a shot across the bow, not a mistake. She is indicating that she will use the HR system as long as it is in existence, even on paper, and that Charles has options. Either put up with the jeering or shut it down for good, according to reports. The palace is considering their alternatives, according to insiders. Charles has finished using the olive branches. This time, preserving the integrity of the crown is more important than maintaining peace, because no king can afford to overlook the fact that the monarchy is being merchandised rather than modernized at this rate. Meghan's ambition isn't the main problem, rather, it's how she hides it. Claims independence while hiding behind royalty. Desiring to create a new legacy, launch a business, or establish a brand is perfectly acceptable. However, when that legacy is leveraging the monarchy she left behind, it creates an inconsistency that is too obvious to overlook. It isn't feminist, it isn't rebellion. Opportunism under the guise of royalty. King Charles is under increasing strain because of this, even if his reign is still in its early phases. And this is turning into a strength test for a king who has historically been seen as cautious, overly tactful. Perhaps this is the best time for him to make his authority known. No more hope that the turmoil in Sussex will end or engaging in backroom diplomacy. The foundation of the monarchy is tradition, rules, and symbolism. There must be a line established when someone mistreats others, especially members of the family. Furthermore, Charles is sending a message to everyone within and outside the royal circle. In addition to defending the crown from Meghan, that's a straightforward message. There are limits to being a king. You are not permitted to use your position on the throne as a weapon for self-interest. While feigning superiority, you cannot create a public persona based on the very titles you pledged not to use while making emotional pleas for seclusion. Meghan may feel personally attacked by losing the HR position, but it's just a matter of accountability. It occurs when someone interprets a promise as merely a suggestion. If Charles took one step further and eliminated the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles completely, that would be the ultimate blow. Parliament would need to be involved, but it is feasible. Additionally, if it occurs at all, there would only be one official title remaining for Meghan, Henry the Princess. No one would fail to notice the irony of her being branded by her husband's name after years of claiming independence. However, what they stand for in relation to Meghan's jam company is more important than their names or titles. The supposed hotel chain and her podcast, none of them have been able to stand alone. Instead, they have relied on royal legend to achieve popularity. Although her supporters may argue that this is simply clever marketing, it is a clear violation of the agreement she made when she departed from the United Kingdom. This is burning the rules, not just breaking them. Meanwhile, Harry keeps fading into the background. His interviews are formal and his public appearances seem staged. He used to be viewed as the relatable king who could relate to contemporary society, but these days he appears to be a guy torn between regret and allegiance. He is powerless to stop Meghan. He refuses to fight back, and by doing nothing, he has allowed the Sussex brand to diverge completely from royal service. More will be defined by what Charles does next. Beyond Meghan's future alone, it will establish the tone for his whole rule. Will he uphold the principles that once gave the monarchy its significance, or will he allow contemporary forces to transform it into a brand? Titles are more than just ornaments. They carry historical accountability and public trust. And once those are undermined, they never return. This has nothing to do with retaliation or penalizing Meghan for being challenging or unique. It's about establishing limits. Saying enough is the key. When it's convenient for you, you can't play royal. Reject it when it doesn't. To show the world that royalty isn't something you rent for a press release. Charles has one last option. If He is serious about preserving the monarchy. Remove the titles from the performance. You either adhere to it or completely let it go.